Welcome back to the Enemies of the Fire podcast. This week we talk about a disappointing Fire loss. We talk about VAR, and for whatever reason we talk about strep throat. With that said, obviously there is only one enemy, FC Neo Tokyo, this week. It's the game's on Wednesday tomorrow, and you know it's hard enough getting everybody to record, but Serena, DPG, James, God only knows what James' status is, but they will not be here this evening. So feel free to get in the comments and tell me what for. But anyway, we're gonna knock out the part of the podcast nobody wants to hear, which is the personal life stuff. Dude, I've been sick since Thursday with strep throat. Did not know that until this morning. Got some antibiotics. Literally immediately feeling better. I've been bedridden for days until this, and just it's insane. Ugh, but we had to put out an episode this week, or at least I had to do something this week because, one, I'm going to be gone next week on vacation, which I'm going to miss. Oh my God, I almost said Chance the Rapper. I'm going to miss Lupe Fiasco because I'm not going to be at the Toronto game. But so I don't know if anybody is actually going. I don't know if anybody else other than James knows how to use OBS. So I don't think there's gonna be an episode next week. So anyway, yeah, been sick. Didn't get to go to the day game. We're gonna get that out of the way. Also, I had tickets to Lorna Shore and Signs of the Swarm, my favorite band. Not gonna get to go to that. I don't know what other first world problems can I complain about. Oh. How about the Chicago Fire? Let's complain about them. Not to bury the lead, but like I said, Saturday was a day game. It was a beautiful day, apparently. I was bedridden. And I'm kind of glad I wasn't there. I mean, I'm sure the tailgate was lit. I'm sure all of you were lit. I wanted my girl to meet everybody. It just didn't happen. But, yeah, we lost 3-1. And let's go into brain does not work right now. Been sick. Let's get into detail about that. First and foremost, if I've seen me at all on the internet, I'm blame Saletros for all of this. This is what, the third or fourth straight loss for the Fire. That, like, St. Louis, we got comeback. They came back to beat us. Cincinnati did the same. Red Bulls just put their boots to our nuts. It's not looking good right now. I feel like, with some time to relax, I do still blame Saletros for most of this, which is funny because Jay Davila has kind of made mistakes all three games that we've lost, and I still blame Saletros more, and we'll get into why that is. So the first goal is the perfect way. So anyway, before the first goal, we thought we had joy. Bamba scored. I still think it went off the defender, so I would not call that offside, but we thought Bamba scored. They called it offside. It's good to see Bamba on the field. We love you, yada yada. That kind of set the tone. Apparently, the Fire statistically. Let me shrink myself a bit. The Fire statistically whooped up on this team. Psychologically, they did not. So we had the ball, but we didn't look dangerous. Why did we not look dangerous? Because the 4-4-2, and especially having Saletros in the middle of the field, completely returns everything to a complete halt offensively. There is so much space that he does not cover. I have no idea if Saletros is fast because I've never seen him run. Dude walks 99% of the game. I've barely seen him jog. Actually, the fastest I've ever seen him move was to go take a corner, which they should just slap the ball out of his hand because he cannot take set pieces. It's god-awful. But leaving so much space open. So let's get back to the first goal. Obviously, beautiful shot. Phenomenal shot. I forget the guy's name. It's Jorge. Whoa. That's not happening. So Jorge takes a shot. And it's a phenomenal shot. But first and foremost, Jonathan Dean, not on him enough. Too much space there. I am sick. I've said that. No, I'm tired of the Dean apology. Like, this dude, we are relying on him so much more than we need to or should. Dude is not to the level that we are requiring him to be at. And that's a huge issue and problem. So he wasn't up on his man. Now, you're going to say, what conspiracy theory do I have to blame this on Saletros? Here's my conspiracy theory. If you watch every play, by the way, every negative play, you'll see like what's happening and everybody's somehow out of position and then just Saletros guarding and doing nothing with no one. Nothing. So he's just floating around, which means there's no pressure on the ball, gets to the other guy. So because Saletros is covering nothing, Waterman has to stay back. And then Dean is staying back to be back with Waterman. And then the ball moves across, and there's no urgency from Saletros to get there. Dean, there's a little bit of urgency, but he doesn't close down enough. And then this kid buries a phenomenal shot. And it was bad, man. That really hurt because literally, despite statistically dominating the rest of the game we looked not up to the challenge. I have seen so many, like, there are so many plays where the standing around all season from Saletros I've complained about, but when you do a 4-4-2, you've got Selassie and Kuipers. Selassie in Kuipers' way. Kuipers is the run man. He makes runs, and they're in each other's way, so they're not moving. They're just standing still. And then the wings, because they're not moving, cannot move. So you've got Zink trying to create too much on his own, and it's not landing as much as it should. And Bamba is the man who is in position always to get the ball. Why doesn't he get the ball? There's a guy in the center of the pitch who can't pass him the ball. So I sound like an insane person, but this is literally like, is Sergio Oregel, despite my claims of Sergio Oregel being a future Ballon d'Or winner, is he? No. But is he even technically better than Saletros? Yes, he is. Actually, 1,000%. He does different things, which Gregg wants what Saletros is supposed to be doing, but he's not doing it. And I would just rather see Sergio Oregel or even Mauricio Pineda in there. But that brings us to another issue, which I mentioned. Davila has made game-changing mistakes in the last couple games, like in a row. I love the kid. I think it's his age. I think, let's be honest. If he continues to develop on the skill set that he has kind of naturally, he's a Serie A Premiership League One player, like bottom of the table, but he is of that quality. Like, if he develops, he can be of that quality. He has that skill set. But man, you just gotta give the kid a break. I mean, again, the conspiracy theorist in me wants to say he's covering so much for Saletros. Of course, he's gonna make a mistake every game, but he's making mistakes. Give him a breather. So that's where you would put Pineda in. So really, it kind of sucks that, like, the answer is to go back to last year, which is technically the team was, well, hold on. I thought the standings were there. But technically the team was lower than they were, this year. But I still feel like it's just obvious that the offense isn't running. I don't like the 4-4-2. I definitely hate the 5-3 or the 3-5-2. I'm not a big fan of any of that. Give me my 4-3-3. This team is built to play a 4-3-3. Like, we just need an offensive midfielder. And in lieu of Franco, which everyone just says, like, well, let's throw away the whole season waiting for Franco. I don't want to do that. Like, I wanted us to sign Evander. Like, Let's do something. Can you fucking believe, like, they just dropped the MLS salaries today, and I'm not even going to get into it, but can you believe the amount of money we are paying to Saletros and Lud to just be bad, to not be good? It's you could have given that money to Evander, and we'd be the Shield favorite right now. And don't even get me started on. Okay, well. Oh, my kitty wants to get out. Hold on. Hey, I'm sorry. I want to backtrack. Boy, I'm coming out hot out the gates. There's a lot I want to cover, and I don't want to get too slow about it. But Cade Cowell, the second goal, which there's another guy better than Lud and Saletros that we could have signed. I mean, but Cade Cowell just works Waterman. Waterman didn't have the angle. That one was on Waterman. He didn't have the angle. He didn't have the speed to get there. And that was just kind of like an embarrassing defensive lapse. And you can't play a whole season without some of those things. But that's why you need other things. Good teams make those mistakes and still win. Like, not all the time. Not 3 of them in a game. But, like, good teams make a mistake like that now and again, and they overcome it, as opposed to like, oh, well, that's a loss. So that took extreme wind out of everybody's sails. And then, then the penalty. Like, that's the other thing. It was obvious that Saletros wasn't running, wasn't even moving, just standing still the whole game, just watch the ball go over his head back and forth. And like, what? We're not going to swab him out until, there's a penalty that we're going to go down 3-0. Like, Berhalter's substitutions, we have on this podcast been complaining about it. I don't know what the answer is, because what used to happen is every time he makes a sub, we immediately give up a goal. So dude just stopped making subs. He just stopped. So that problem stopped, but then we just give up goals because everybody's tired. Like, it's quite literally, like, insane. It's shocking. What's the word I'm searching for? It's shocking. So, I don't know, man. I didn't feel good about this game. I don't feel good about, so one last thing is Hugo Kuipers scored. Hey, Hugo Kuipers is a god, and I guess that'll get me into the topic that I almost freaked out about a second ago. God. Sorry, I just showered. I finally feel human. So, like, I want us to be done with this Lewandowski talk. I think most of the fan base is, which, thank you guys. Love you. Thank you for thank you for not wanting this, because if we already got the guy in the center that Berhalter won't stop playing, who completely kills and slows down the attacks, like, Lewandowski is too old for MLS. He might have the physical strength for it, but I don't think so. Not at this age. Like, the reason he's still looking as good as he is he is playing with the best players on planet Earth around him. Like, I'm a little disrespectful when I say it, but, like, they're just bouncing the ball off of him into the net. So I don't want it. I don't want it. We have the best striker in MLS, Hugo Kuipers. We have a great winger in Zinkernagel, a great winger in Jonathan Bamba. That's set. That's beautiful. I know Haile Selassie has a lot of skill. I know Haile Selassie is a big piece of this team. We have been very pro Haile Selassie on this podcast. He doesn't have to start every game. We don't have to do it. We don't have to have 2 strikers. I feel like Gregg is preemptively setting us up to have old-ass Lewandowski. I'm going to clip this. I'm going to put it in a short. I hope I'm wrong. If this team signs Lewandowski, it's going to be a thing where he doesn't score for so many games. It's going to be like a ticker on MLS Apple broadcast. It'll be like 6 games in, no goals. 7 games in, no goals. 8 games in, no goals. Like, it's going to be disgusting because too slow. This team isn't like a counter team, but it's definitely a fast team. Look at Bamba. He knows exactly when to speed it up. He knows exactly when to slow it down. He knows exactly when to square it. That guy that guy, it's like, this might be a bad example, but like, you know how the Cubs all say like Jason Hayward won the World Series because he was like the mental guy, even though he didn't play well that whole season. Bamba does at least play well, but I feel like he is the unsung brains of the whole operation, which is why the less you see Bamba on the field or in the lineup, right, when he was injured, the worse the team looked. I guess like he's a DP signing, so it's pretty easy to say like, oh, he's so important. But how many times in this league have we seen a DP signing come in and he's relegated to the bench because he's not playing well? Like it happens all the time. So personally, man, like I know I just don't want this Lewandowski thing to happen. I think it'll just immediately blow up any kind of forward momentum we have. Like if we are sinking like a stone right now, which isn't good. And I guess that leads us. So I guess that's kind of it for that game. So that leads us to tomorrow's game, which is against DC United, which I swear to God, if you give up a goal to Ty Baribo, I'm going to fucking scream. Anyway, like this is one of those games where we're already beat. We're already down. Gregg Berhalter isn't going to change shit, and Ty Baribo is going to get a brace. And I'm just going to want to end my life. Please don't do that. Please don't let that happen. I hate. They're like, I talk a lot of shit, but boy, I don't really hate that many people. I really don't. I hate Ty Baribo. Please don't do this to me. So, anyway, with that said, let me get my phone out because there's a few little news, let me bring this up. There's a few little news and notes to talk about leading into this game. Lud is practicing with a mask, which, by the way, I complained about what he's making. I complained about him not playing well this season. Very much sympathize with the man getting kicked in the face and ocularly assaulted, right? Like I feel you. Oh man, ocularly assaulted. That sounds like an awesome death metal song. Anyway, so he's practicing with a mask on, which good on you, but like this is gonna sound rude. We don't need you until after the World Cup, man. Take the time, get healed up, do your thing, right? Like I actually have some sympathy for the man. I feel kind of bad. Now, with that said, see, I should have had my notes up. I want to say this out loud because I got it wrong in the group chat. Ditha Johnny had a great move and should have had his first goal, probably first MLS goal of the season. I think either way, kid looked really good. The best I've seen him look, and I'm here for it. If we can get more out of Ditha Johnny, that's awesome. I mean, God, Berhalter. Yeah, Berhalter. God, why did I almost called him whatever. Anyway. Berhalter is not playing enough different players. Like Sergio Oregel deserves minutes. Ditha Johnny needs more minutes. Chris Mueller needs a minute. Like, get the guy on the field. What is going on? Like, why are these guys on the play Pareba? Why do we got guys on the roster and not giving them minutes? Like, it's stupid. You got to use your players. You got a whole month and a half off here in a minute. And, like, yes, take the League's Cup off, too, by the way. Please. And just, you know what I mean? It's kind of insane. I don't want to sound too negative, but oh man, shout out to Colin. If you're in the know, you're in the know. Colin's the best. So in the injury report, for no reason whatsoever, Saletros and Sergio Oregel both are questionable because of head. So So what? This guy comes in, ruins the fucking team, and then runs headfirst into like one of my favorite players. This guy is here just to screw with me, just to ruin my enjoyment of this team. We make the playoffs once, and they're like, nah. Is this guy happy? Fuck that. Yeah, anyway, I shouted out Colin because he's the one who was like, they're both questionable with head injuries. You think they ran into each other? It's just like, son of a bitch. Because it's like that's the crappy player and the guy who should replace him. So now Jay Davla, who needs a break, like mentally, he needs a break. Let him sit down. Let him chill. Is going to have to play next to Pineda, which means two dudes doing the same thing. It's going to be in the middle of the park when Gregg's going to try and play a 4-4-2, which means there's going to be zero offense. Zero. With the best striker in the league. Oh God. Oh, everything frustrates me. Been on Twitter too much, man. Everything is on fire. So that brings me to my prediction about this game. Everything's terrible. Ty Baribo's going to score. Everyone hates everything. Life has no meaning. Listen to Signs of the Swarm. I don't know, man. I feel like this is going to suck. This is going to be the worst thing ever. That's kind of why I wanted to do this tonight and not wait till after the game tomorrow to record with everybody else. It's just maddening, man. It's maddening. So, which is funny because this team, let's see where they are in the standings. Like, we are technically doing way better than we did last season, right? But after 3 straight losses, there we go. Yeah, I guess we're still in 4th, which is absolutely insane. Although we are falling pretty far behind Nashville, which sucks. Super sucks. We are the only team to beat Nashville. They are 7-3-1. God, I always conflate Nashville and Cincinnati. Always. Like, they're just the same team. Who the hell gave those two cities teams? Like, I never, there's too many teams in this league to keep them all straight. So, like, most of the time, they're just the same in my brain. Anyway. I'm still not well. So with that said, like I said, so yeah, I guess with in lieu of saying everything is terrible, I feel like this is going to be a loss. 2-1, 3-2, whatever it is going to be by 1 goal, and it's going to suck, and everything's going to be terrible. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on that Toronto game because Toronto is bad, right? Hold on. Yeah, Toronto was us last season, 3-5-4. So yeah, then Toronto could maybe nick us at home, which would suck as well. Like this, Gregg has got to steer this ship right. He's got to do something different. This dude gets in too many ruts. This is, last season, Gregg hit on almost every one of his signings with the exception of Kwame. This season, he hit extremely well with Mbakazi, and I feel like he biffed on Lud and Saletros. But I see the archetype of player he was going for with those two, and I'm for it. So I really like Gregg as a GM. I really think Gregg would be a great GM to let him just be a GM. God, let him be a president. Just whatever. Give him a fancy title and a crown. Just please hire a real coach. Could you imagine BJ Callahan here with Gregg as GM? Could have been us. Could. Anyway, in all seriousness though, I think that's gonna be it for me freaking out about the Fire. There is a lot to talk about. We're gonna get into Arsenal. We're gonna get into West Ham. We're gonna get into Tottenham. And why all of that sucks. God, why is everything bad? Why am I only talking about bad stuff? But no, we're gonna get all into that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about James Rodriguez, because why not, man? Why not? And then lastly, I got a few news and notes. No, I don't. But I want to talk about the U.S. roster anyway, moving into the World Cup. Why not? Anyway. Like, subscribe, comment, hang around. We got a little bit more left of the show. We love you. Peace. Welcome back, fellow enemies of the fire. We are here to talk about the one thing every MLS-based podcast needs to talk about, and that's the English Premier League, baby. Anyway, seriously, what in the hell is happening? If you've lived under a rock, you have not seen the discourse about this Arsenal-West Ham game. Now, we're not going to pretend like your boy watched the game. No, hell no. Listen, I like European soccer. I just don't have enough love for any of the teams to pay a ton of attention. And really, I don't usually watch anybody unless there's like an American that I like playing there. So, there is a little bit of that. But I will tune in and pay attention to some of the biggest news and notes and such. And Arsenal didn't wrap up the title. There's still a few games left. But this game, and the game that we'll talk about next, has huge implications on the title and relegation race. So, to set the scene for anybody who doesn't know, Arsenal sucks and is terrible because their fans are the most annoying on the planet. And West Ham is in a relegation fight with Tottenham. And we all know how I feel about big teams going down. With that said, West Ham had a corner, or whatever it was, one of these. And let's be honest here. Let's all be honest. There were like 5 fouls before this right here happened, right? And this is the one fucking thing they're gonna call. This dude, see this dude? He had been tackling this man for 4 yards until he got to this guy. And the only reason that arm is hitting this guy is because this guy is still tackling him. It's insane. Tossard, or whatever his name is, it's a complete disgusting display of the game of soccer. And if you look, every single team this season has gotten screwed on an Arsenal free kick because Arsenal just annihilates the keeper and just slaps him around and just completely... it looks like a damn hardcore mosh pit, right? With the arms swinging. And, it's bullshit. They've gotten away with it all season. And there were 4 fouls before the one they called. Why is that? And then, I read what was said between the VAR and the ref. I saw the comments because that's been leaked now, or not leaked, but released as of now. I don't know what that means. I can't tell if the VAR is telling him that Tossard fouled Dude Man beforehand, or if they're telling him to ignore that, and the ref is like, why? So I can't tell which side is which. I'm stupid. I don't know everybody's name. Like I didn't pay enough attention to know the name of which guy is which. So I'm still not sure on whose side was on the right side, but it was absolutely disgustingly insane that that was given. It just was. If anything, you if you want to play advantage, it's a West Ham goal. Plain and simple. If you don't, it's a penalty. There were 4 penalties. There were not just Tossard committing a penalty for multiple minutes. Not minutes, but in all honesty, technically his self committing 4 fouls in the process. There were 3 other people fouled in that box. That should, worst case scenario, we should be talking about whether the West Ham guy hit or missed the penalty. And it's just, dude, between, everything in life is rigged. Rich people get away with everything. Fucking, The politics is shitty, and now football is rigged. This is rigged. This whole season has been rigged for Arsenal, and it's also helping Tottenham. And we will get there, but they're helping Tottenham stay up because Tottenham makes more money, and they needed Arsenal to win a title. I guess Arteta is gonna physically assault somebody. I don't know why they're afraid of him. And he gets away with all this kind of BS, running around outside of his box, kicking the ball away from players, Arsenal. They just suck. Their fan base has ruined it for me long before this, years before this. And then, so that's why I enjoy their collapse every season. And we know, I have been rooting for the collapse for weeks, and it was going to happen. And now they're the Premier League is no, we have to sell Arsenal. Is that what it is? They want to sell more Arsenal shit in America? Is that quite literally why they rigged the Premier League this year? I want UK listeners, which there are none of. Anyone who knows someone in the UK, ask them, is that why? Is it just literally to sell more shit to Americans? Is that because apparently Arsenal is America's team, right? So I don't know. I quite literally don't know. I hate it. I think it's rigged. I think it's bullshit. I think whichever the VAR or the referee, the one who was no, ignore all those fouls, because that's basically what they said on the record was, hey, ignore, what's up with this foul on this guy? They're nah, ignore that. So, whoever was at fault should be, exercised from football. You're done. You're done. You're paid for it. It's over. And usually I am on the side of refs. Be good to them. Be chill. These men are doing, really hard work. It's really just when shit is rigged is when I have a real problem with it. It just feels rigged. And then you couple that with the next day where Tottenham and Leeds play to a draw. Leeds gets a goal. And then, right, is it first? Oh, no, Tottenham got their goal first. So, I don't know exactly when this happened then. But this is, hold on, I got to shrink myself. I've got it. Whoop. Uh-oh, what did I click on? What did I do? Okay, there we go. All right, let me shrink myself real quick. Oh, no. Oh. Anyway. This is bullshit right here. This is just as egregious as the West Ham game. This is bullshit. This over here, oh, hold on, you can't see this. This over here is reality. See this? See this reality that exists? See this foot in front of this foot? See how this is real? And then they tell you it's offside and release this bullshit, this computer-generated bullshit. Absolute garbage. This is not reality. So, again, whoever is involved in the... Oh, wait, could you not... Okay, there we go. All right. Anyway, whoever was involved in this should be exercised from football. Listen to me call it football because I'm talking about Premier League. But in all seriousness, this is so egregious. And it's just I can't live in a world where politicians gaslight me all day, and then the only bourgeois decadence I allow myself is to enjoy football. And you're gonna fucking you're gonna do this to me? No! This is crazy. We know, listen, I loved Leicester winning the title. If Fulham ever wins a title, which is the closest thing to a European team I love, I will lose my shit. But infinitely more entertaining is a big team going down. And Tottenham, it is your time, baby. Tottenham, welcome to the championship. But just, it's bullshit. They are gaslighting us here. And this leads me to my next point, which is actually a little bit more important here, which is the Premier League is ruining VAR. I, personally, as a soccer fan, have been screwed by it, mind you. I've stood in Soldier Field and all excited And then all of a sudden, some ref gets on the mic and goes, and then they take away the good thing that happened. And it's happened too many times for me to even like comprehend. But even with that, I have enjoyed it because I feel as though it has actually done more good than harm. Wholeheartedly. You can yell at me, but I will explain. Everywhere with the exception of the Premier League. The Premier League has always done VAR wrong. They are doing offside rule wrong. They're doing VAR wrong. They fuck it up. It takes far too long, so everyone thinks it's corrupt. It's obviously corrupt. And the problem is that the most eyes on the planet are on the Premier League, so now everyone hates VAR. VAR works so much better everywhere else in the world. And so now, so what's going to happen is everybody's going to freak out. They're going to want to get rid of VAR. We're going to get rid of VAR, and then Cade, just forget it. Throw the sport out the window. Talk about rigged. Every game will be rigged. Everything. Every moment of every game. It will all be rigged. Instantly. So we have to save VAR. The Premier League has to do VAR correctly. This is bullshit. I think the place we have, I might get yelled at, but I think the place we have seen VAR work the most and has been correct more times than not is in the international game, to be perfectly honest with you. More so than the club game. I really like VAR as an idea. I agree with what someone said is if it takes you 5 minutes and 17 replays, it's not clear and obvious, right? So I do think there should be a timer. There should be like a 3 replay, 35-second timer. And I would feel better about that because the VAR guys in theory have watched it 4 or 5 times themselves. So I want to fix VAR in the Premier League as opposed to lose it everywhere. I think that would be garbage. I think it would be worse for the game. And with Poly Market and shit like that, you're talking the game, it'll be over. God, I look like a hentai protagonist. The game is over, right? The game is over if you don't fix VAR in the Premier League. Because everyone is calling for it to go now. And it's because they do it the worst. It's because they screw it up every time. It's because it's garbage over there. And other leagues are not having this problem. They are not. And I have been a person that I feel has been aggrieved by, Fire. I feel the Fire have been aggrieved. Is that the right word? On times by VAR. I feel like that. I'm serious. But it's nothing. It's nothing compared to what life was like before it. Oh my God. Before VAR, every motherfucking goal was offside. Everyone. Or some refs would just let every single play go. And a guy would be 5 yards offside and be like, well, it's a goal. Nice shot, right? So I don't want to go back to the dark ages. That was the dark age. And like I said, with the sports betting, no VAR, every single minute of every single match will be orchestrated. A ref could make trillions of dollars. It's just garbage. And I don't want to see that happen. This is my public service announcement. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Garbage. Anyway. James Rodriguez. So, James Rodriguez, who had a really good season at Everton, and I thought his career was going to turn around, and that was 10 years ago? It didn't. And no, it wasn't quite that long ago, but he signed with Minnesota, and I don't see why this is a bad thing. I know he hasn't played a ton, but I think he's played decent when he has. And it's not like Minnesota is hurting, they've got to save the money in the cap space. No, man, just whatever. I don't understand unless he truly, because the word on the street was he was retiring, which I was kind of like, oh, okay, well, whatever. But now he's like, nah, I got a few more years in. God, I can't believe he said that. This is completely different from what I've been hearing. And I just saw this earlier today. completely different than what I was hearing, is that like he wants the VAR, like, or VAR. God damn it! All right, this is completely different than what I'm hearing. I thought he wanted to retire. Now, if he doesn't want to retire, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't go back to Minnesota. Like I guess it was working pretty well. I mean, it's not like he's a world beater, but I don't know. So the real reason I bring this up, because obviously I don't have a ton to say about James Rodriguez. Like, you know, what's important to you, right? Like, obviously he's played enough football, or like bounced around to enough places. Obviously he cares about the game to an extent, right? Like, he's enjoying playing, or he wants to play the game. He wants to actually do the soccer, right? He does. It's like, I mean, it's hard to blame a guy like Chucky Lozano who's getting paid as much as he is, and they're like, go away and like stop getting paid, and he's like, nah. Nah. I mean, I don't have, like, he don't gotta play. He making money hand over fist. And like, honestly, I respect a guy who's like clear with what he wants. Like, Oscar always talks about, or not always, but Oscar talks about, he went to China to have generational wealth so that his children's children would be fine. He didn't care that his prime of his career, he wasn't star man at whatever club playing in Champions Leagues. And that's fine. I don't begrudge the man at all. Like, the Jordan Morris theorem, a player, who is happy is going to play his best ball and is going to be happy. You know what? I respect it. James Rodriguez has made a lot of money, baby, but I don't think he's just hopped around just to make the money. Because if that was the case, if that was the case, he probably would have come to MLS earlier. He would have been hanging out in Saudi Arabia more. But like, look at the moves he made. Obviously makes the big move from God, don't hate me. I can't remember if he was at Monaco or not. I think he was, but I think he left Monaco to play for Real Madrid, which he played. I mean, he had, like, I remember kind of talking some shit, and then I looked back at like the stats, and the stats are better than I remembered him playing. Like, I remembered him like never seeing the field, and that is actually not the case. It looked like he had like a good year or two at Madrid before kind of going into obscurity. But once he went into obscurity, I applaud the Everton move, right? Like, Everton is kind of a team sometimes, especially when they signed him. It was like, not do or die, but it was like, hey, we're putting together a squad to compete for Europa League spot, right? Like a kind of ambitious move, and he was not anything close to a slam dunk, but it was kind of like, let's give him a run out. And he played well. The team worked better. It was a breath of fresh air for both of them. And then, like, to not re-sign him, I don't know what went wrong, but then he kind of just went back to obscurity, and he just can't seem to find his footing. And that's kind of sucks when you see like a star player kind of backtrack and not find their footing. So I don't know. I personally like the guy. I mean, obviously he has stretched the 2014 World Cup into far more years than any person could ever stretch one tournament. But, good for him, man. So I guess my question would be, if anybody's still watching, Chicago Fire fans, Saletros or James? Saletros or James Rodriguez, huh? What up? Oh, I don't know if I look crazy. I literally cannot see myself at this point. Well, all right. Dreams of James Rodriguez in Chicago. Dreams, I wouldn't necessarily say that. But the thought of that aside, let's talk about the World Cup. Just for a minute. And I know the last time we talked about the World Cup, I called a lot of people Nazis. I know. But I'm going to be honest with you people. Despite the mountain of shit I've talked about this World Cup, and how much I do not want to financially support it, I have done two things, and this will probably be the only dollars I spend at all on this World Cup. But first and foremost, I saw this at Five Below. It is a U.S. soccer branded like mini foosball table. And honestly, I wanted to like Warhammer style like paint numbers and names on these guys, but honestly, I need to find a way to get something like an adhesive that goes on and comes off, because I want to change out who they are. I don't want to like pick the only players now and forever that's who they are, right? So I don't know, man. We'll see. It is I don't know. It's not World Cup branded, but I had to. It was at Five Below, dude. I mean, it wasn't $5. Let's be real here, but I had to. Absolutely, God, I look crazy. Oh, anyway, it was at Five Below. And then secondly, I was at CVS and I bought some stickers. Now, I really personally wanted all three of the mascots, but all they had was the US one. So whatever. So that is it. That is the extent of the money I am going to invest in this World Cup. No Panini books, no Panini stickers, no nothing, no tickets, well, unless, $20 tickets day of kind of thing. But no, in all seriousness, like, I don't feel comfortable really supporting this World Cup, but it's still the World Cup, man. It's like same thing with Russia, same thing with Qatar. Like, as much as like I had this or that disagreement about this or that, I still ended up watching the games. And so I am, as much as I want to be not, I am part of the problem. So what are you going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. All right, now this is going to be... Now we're moving into the strange territory here. I don't know if any of the rest of the podcast knows this, but we are gonna do a big World Cup episode before the World Cup with predictions and yadas. And then your boy FC Neo Tokyo will try and stream every single day of the tournament at whatever time. Like, I work a real job. So, like, it will be at night, and there may be games going on while I'm streaming. There might not be. Depends on the night. But there won't be lockdown time. And I'm going to try and stream every single day of the tournament. So if there's a day that doesn't have a game, we're not going to stream. Although there's only like 3 of those. Other tournaments, like once you get to the round of 16, there were like breaks. This one, none. There's like 3 days off from game 1 to the final. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, I digress. So that's going to be what we're going to do for the channel. So the idea is, I think I'm going to be hosting a stream, and then in theory, if and when anyone else can join, they'll join. And then you'll be able to tell me to my face that I'm a loser. Or not to my face, I guess, just in the chat. So that's cool. But anyway. BS about the World Cup aside, the U.S. men's national team, people are freaking out a bit. Johnny Cardoso is not going to go. He's injured. That sucks. Not for it. Don't like it. No, sir. Do not like it one bit. So, I don't know. I guess Tanner Tessman? I don't know. Man, does Gio Reyna make this team? Dude, Gio Reyna scores 1 goal in the last, 9 years. No, okay. In all seriousness, scores 1 goal in, 7 months here? And everybody's like, oh, yeah, he's a lock. He's in. It's just like, what? Everybody so badly wants Gio Reyna to be good. Gio Reyna is not his potential. Gio Reyna is what he is. And what he is sucks. He's not good. He is not produced. He has shown flashes of talent, but guess who else was super talented and never played a game and was in the 3rd division of Brazilian soccer? Freddie Adu, right? Like, talent is not everything, and you're not your potential. You're what you are, right? Like, it just is what it is. And so there's freakouts about that. Timothy Weah is hurt. It hurts. Please tell me Timothy Weah is going to be there. I don't know about you. Timothy Weah plays amazing in a U.S. shirt. It's crazy. And who else is hurt? Like, there's hella folks getting hurt. Now, Pulisic said he was hurt, sat out a game. AC Milan's like, you ain't hurt. So I don't know. I really kind of hope he is. I don't want to have to root for that guy. I really don't. I really hate that he's our best player. I really don't like him. I'm really not a fan. I really don't want to have to root for the guy. It feels wrong. It like if Pulisic's at home, like, yes, Pochettino is a horrible human being, and we'll just leave it at that. But if Pulisic isn't on the team, I will hardcore super root for USA. I will be back in 1,000%. If he's on the roster, man, it's hard for me to not want him to get grouped. I'm just being real. That's just how I personally feel, and it's just isn't that what sports is? It's just it's just your feelings. It's all feelings, dude. This is all feelings. There's no like. I do a podcast about the Chicago Fire. There's not a logical reason on planet Earth to be a Fire fan. They suck. Like, if you look at the totality of the team, they were really good for like this amount of time, and they were sucks for this amount of time. Like, there's logic is gone. There's no reason to be a fan. Like, so, whatever. If you want to jump all over me in the comments about it because I'm not, pro-America enough, that's fine. That's how I feel. Thank you for allowing me to go to therapy here. But no, I mean, shockingly, Chris Brady has not been playing well the last couple of games as much as I've been claiming that he's the best keeper in America. So I really, fingers crossed, hope he makes the team. But it looks like it's going to be what? Brady and then Freeze and who's the other guy in MLS? Like, we just played him. Wasn't he in at the Cincy keeper? Like, I don't know, man. Keeper, it's crazy. We used to have like... Didn't we have 5 keepers in the Premier League at one point? Like, someone check me on this. Howard, Hanneman, Friedel, Keller, and Guzan. I think we're all in the Premier League at the same time at one point, which means we had 20 or 25% of the starting keepers in the Premier League at one time, which, tell somebody that now. But it's wild that we haven't produced a real keeper in a while. I don't know. Part of me wonders, because, like, if you look at it, there was always an heir apparent, right? And honestly, like, so even going back to Tony Meola was a beast, like, amazing player. After him, heir apparent was Brad Friedel. Brad Friedel stepped away early, out of the way, so Casey Keller could have his time to shine. Casey Keller stepped away a little early so that Tim Howard could shine. Marcus Hanneman never really got his shine because Tim Howard shined. Brad Guzan was in line after Tim Howard to have his shine. Tim Howard skipped Marcus Hanneman in line, and then his career eclipsed all of Brad Guzan's. Like, it was all just Tim Howard, which I'm not necessarily mad at. Tim Howard is by far, in my opinion, like, he's the best keeper America ever had. He may technically in that conversation, he might technically be the best keeper or the best player the U.S. has ever had. He was amazing, absolutely incredible. I think at his peak, I think he was only behind Van der Sar and Keylor Navas at his peak. And Navas, I mean, that's questionable. You put Tim Howard on those Real Madrid teams, you telling me Tim Howard doesn't have three Champions League titles? Seriously. Like, Keylor Navas, amazing player. I just saw him get worked on a penalty the other day. But, I mean, that's all right. Like, it's all right. He's still playing. But if you put Tim Howard on those Real Madrid teams, he's winning those Champions Leagues. It's just that simple. You're never going to hear any Tim Howard. Well, he might. He talks a lot. I was about to say you're never going to hear any Tim Howard slander around here, but you might. You might. Although he does have great taste in music. Him and Casey Keller, they're both down with like Casey Keller was talking about meeting Sepultura or was it Soulfly? He was talking about he knows Max Cavalera. Casey Keller is the fucking coolest. Anyway, so like the keeper situation's crazy. Defense is okay. I don't like Freeman and I don't like Arfston, but is there much like in seriousness, you got Chris Richards in the center, like number one. Perfect. Love it. You always hear me talk about Dest and Jedi Robinson being on the field at the same time is the best the U.S. has ever played in the history of its existence. When those two players on the field at the same time, that is the best soccer they have ever played. Does it mean they have the best results? Maybe not, but the best soccer ever played is when those two are on the field. So I'm okay with that. I don't know who the other center back's going to be. Please don't be Tim Ream. I love you, Tim Ream. You seem like a cool guy. You kind of were sent out in the cold at the wrong point in your career, by the way. Tim Ream should have been a little bit more involved. Hell, I say that, but there was a time I really didn't like Tim Ream. But you know, I'm not too terribly worried about that. Midfield is where it just crumbles. Like what's going on? What is happening? So, like, is Brendan Aronson going to play well? Is this guy going to play well? Is that guy going to play well? Johnny's out. Like, Tillman, it's so many question marks. And I don't know how Ponch is going to play. I don't understand. I don't understand how anybody has I guess I haven't paid attention as much as I used to, but I don't have an understanding of how Ponch plays. I don't have an understanding about what he wants. I don't have an understanding about what he expects. I don't have an understanding about what he wants to do other than being a fucking loser. That is the only thing I can tell about Pochettino, which I hate. It's terrible. I hate it. Ah. So, and then like the forward line, yeah, like our best player is an asshole, and then what? Is Florian Balogun like he's playing in Monaco? He's scoring some goals. He's finally apparently he's found his stride. But is he really found his stride? Is he really doing it? Is it really happening? I don't know, man. I really don't know. There's so much to be down about this World Cup. Like, I've never been this down. Even the one we missed. Like, I was pretty down about going into that, and then as soon as the game started, I was, yeah. But, like, dude, just, there is no hype, there is no love, there's no excitement, there's no nothing. So, I don't know. Help me pick another team to care about, because the U.S. is, there is not that long ago that the U.S. men's national team was my favorite sports team. Even above the Fire. They were my favorite sports team. And honestly, between Pochettino and Christian Pulisic, they have ruined it. They've ruined it for me. It just completely ruined it. So hopefully that ends soon. I'm hoping so. Because dude is Charmin soft, dude. Soft. Absolutely soft. Anyway. I can't believe I've rambled for so long. So if you kind of like this vibe at all, this is what these World Cup streams are going to feel like. If you hate this vibe, let me know. Comment and say something. Tell us something, man. Like, tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me why, though. Why? Not just I'm an idiot. I guess that's it. Listen, if you made it this far, we love you. It's insane. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I can't tell you how much the podcast appreciates you. We're really, this thing's my baby. I really want this to be something and to be successful. I'm really happy to see some numbers, I really hope this thing grows, and not just, I don't want to quit my job and do this. I just want community. I want more people to enjoy this, man. To be perfectly honest, doing this podcast has kept me more engaged and excited about the Fire than I've even, like, it took a lot to come back. Not that I left the team and never paid attention, but we had a decade of darkness. I'd watch the first 7 or 8 games. We'd be like, 0-1-7, and it'd be like, well, fuck. Who cares? They're playing terrible. They have a terrible coach. They're never going to sign anybody I enjoy to watch. Like, going to games for a while there was like, oh, cool, this player from the other team is coming. Let's go see them. Now to have so many guys on the team that I actually genuinely enjoy watching play and I really root for and I'm really excited about, and doing the podcast has made me even more excited and into it, and just, it's really great. So, anyway, comment, subscribe, show us some love. We love you. If you got time Thursday, go see Signs of the Swarm and Lorna Shore at the Hard Rock. Pour one out for me, man. Yeah, we'll be back. Peace.